Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Manners and More with MILLENA. I'm your host, MILLENA Gay, and today I have with me in the studio very special guests, Retha Gray, Eric Easy Zuli, and Samira Kazmani. Now, all of these are very familiar names and faces in the entertainment industry, and they have broad ranges of talents on screen and off screen, and I am happy to see you all, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Great to be here. It's so exciting. You're a great host already.
Oh, thank you so much. And I want to say thank you for having me as a guest on your show as well last week, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, I want to start with Retha.
Yes.
Now, Retha, your career began in the 70s on the TV show Three's Company.
Well, it actually began before that, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I did a USO tour, which was also in the 70s, but before I did TV, I did a USO tour.
Okay.
The Far East. It was at the very end of the Vietnam War.
Oh, wonderful. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
People say, oh, don't talk about that stuff. They'll know how old you are. I'm grateful to be alive. Please, get life.
You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic and wonderful. And, you know, however old you are, I know you're 29. And
Exactly.
You're here. I know, me too. But you look fantastic.
Thank you, darling.
So, you did end up on Three's Company.
I did do Three's Company. I was kind of a semi-regular. I'd come on when they had parties and have one or two lines here and there. It was very exciting.
Yeah, hanging out with Jack Tripper and Christy and Janet.
Yeah.
Well, from there, your career springboarded into several films and several network television shows. So my question is, what prompted you to actually pursue the career of acting and then to subsequently open Gray Images Extras Casting?
Well, actually, I did my first play when I was 6 years old.
Oh.
And I had the only speaking line in the show, which wasn't really speaking. I just went... and they all burst into applause, and I said, oh, yeah, I got to do this. So I've been acting ever since, on and off, but I love acting. Majored in, I used to tell people in elementary school I was majoring in theater, and they say, honey, you can't have a major in elementary school. Yeah, I do. So,
I heard that. You know what you wanted to do.
Exactly. So I fell in love with it. I did acting. I am in a cult classic film called Welcome Home, Brother Charles, also known as Soul Vengeance. And my advice to all young actors is don't do anything that you think you might possibly regret later, because we didn't have DVRs or just DVDs back then. So I'm thinking, well, you know, nobody else. Honey, it is still on the internet.
Oh,
so
internet lasts forever.
They definitely last forever. I did General Hospital. I did a few things, and then I got into casting and decided I liked being on that side of the camera for a while. So I cast things like the TV show Frank's Place. I did the extra casting for that. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Oh, now that's a movie.
Casting for that. Baby Boom. And I did lots of TV movies, all kinds of stuff in the 80s.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So that was exciting. And then in 91, I got totally out the business. I said, okay, I've had enough of Hollywood. Hollywood has had enough of me. I went into the ministry.
Okay.
I was a chaplain at the Los Angeles Mission for 8 years.
Really?
Oh, yeah, honey. I'd get around.
I see. Oh, my goodness.
And then in the 2000s, I needed a job, and I said, "Oh, what do I do? I don't do anything. I guess I better go back to acting."
Right, that job. That's a
exactly.
job,
And so I technically got my big break after I turned 60 years old on Betty White's Off Their Rockers.
Well, you just go ahead.
So never give up. It's never too late. You're never too old.
Wow, 60 years old, and that's when you started back. That is fantastic. It's so inspiring. And actually, we have one of our sponsors of the show. Her name is Donna Andrews, and she is an artist. And she started painting when she was 19. She took a break and started back at 60. 62, 60, she's here with us, and then this beautiful artwork that you see in the studio, this is her creation. Now she's in her 70s, and she's doing it, and she loves it, and so both she and you are true testaments to just keep doing what feels right and feels good and comes natural.
Do your passion.
Exactly.
Do your passion. And 60 is the new 30.
Yes. Oh, okay.
You can't forget that new 40, honey. No, it's the new 30.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. I wonder what's 29?
in trouble.
Uh-oh.
You don't have enough knowledge yet.
No, you got that right. First to tell you. So now, that is such an interesting career. And right now you are a series regular on Betty White's Off Their Rockers, for which you're also nominated for an award, the Entrepreneurs on the Move Award, EOTM, for Outstanding Actress in a Reality Series.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about it. I'm thrilled because I used to not be that big of a reality fan. But reality actually can be good, and our show actually was good. We'd go around and we'd prank younger people. Older people would prank younger people. So that was always interesting. We kind of turned the tables on them, and I always got to flirt with the young guys, so that was always lots of fun.
I know.
I got to make all kinds of proposals to strange men on the street I didn't know. Oh, so wow. I had a good time.
Well, that was working. That's work.
Oh, and they paid me, honey.
And
they paid me.
The best kind of work there is getting paid for it. Well, congratulations to you and to your success on the show.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And you stay off your rocker.
I am totally off my rocker.
Well, I'm so glad to know you, my friend. So very glad. Now, our next guest is reverently known as the hardest working man in television. As you see, he's actually recording his own talk show during my talk show right now.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
right now.
This is my little resume for my fans. It's not my show. It's just the Facebook camera.
All that. Well, the hardest working man in television, Mr. Eric Easy Zuli. Now, his accomplishments are locally, nationally, and internationally known, and you have over 20 plus years in the entertainment industry. Eric, I mean, you look like you're 25. I don't understand how you're able to do so much. Here, let me tell you. Now, you're not only phenomenal as an entertainment industry personality and philanthropist, but he's been coined as an entrepreneur genius. He's the founder of WTV Networks, host of The Easy Show, and he's received numerous awards and recognitions, including the U.S. Congressional Robert Novak Journalist Award. He's one of the most sought-after spokespersons and brand ambassadors, and the Multicultural Motion Picture Association named an award after him, the Easy Achievement Award. And the founder of E! Entertainment and now president of Meaton Development Group.
Mayton, I'm
sorry. The Mayton Development Group, Larry Namer, was the first to receive that award, the Easy Eric Zuli Award. I mean, this is I'm not finished yet. Hold on. Now, Eric has worked with organizations that benefit children, such as Angels of East Africa and Covenant House, and he's helped raise awareness and funding for over 9 different charities. So, Eric?
Yes?
Some people would call you like an overachiever.
You are my new hype person. Everywhere I go, I'm bringing you with me.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I don't think you're an overachiever. I think you're absolutely fantastic. But honestly, the question comes from what drives you to do so much? What is your inspiration? What's your motivation? Why do you do what you do?
You know, honestly, MILLENA, I love watching the faces and knowing that my brand was a part of someone else's success. I love watching other people and knowing that I helped and I was a little bit of fuel for their car, you know. Oh. And also, you know, my dad actually had lymphoma cancer. He lost a lot of properties, and so I've had a team of about 25 people since I was 16 years old that have been there for me and that have like really helped me. Mm-hmm. So it's a major motivation to make sure you can take care of your team, take care of your dad, and you know, take care of the supporters. And it's just, I created the easy way, so now we're doing it the easy way.
Wow, and your dad's such a wonderful guy. Shouts out to Eric's dad.
There he is.
Hey, Eric's dad. It's right there, actually. Yeah, that's beautiful, and it is so important. You absolutely have to take care of those who take care of you. So congratulations, and you're doing an outstanding job. But you do what you do in such unconventional ways. How do you come up with what you do? You have fights and mansion fights and
that was fun, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I have to put it on Facebook, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll see very soon, I promise. But why don't you tell everybody about it?
Well, you know,
what makes you do things like that?
I created a movement called The Easy Way, and I have a lot of people like Gloria Allred and the co-founder of E! Entertainment and the president of distribution for Sony Pictures, and it goes on and on of people that are of influential power, I guess you say, in the industry that endorse it. And the easy way is just better than the hard way. You know, I bet a lot of people are done doing it the hard way, so you can do the easy way. I created a company called Easy Way Promotions, and the Robert Novak Award was kind of a recognition of me being one of the biggest digital journalists in the world, I guess. And there's other awards that are going to be coming along. And actually, you were talking about the EOTM awards with my girl Retha here.
Exactly.
I'm going to be co-hosting that.
I know you are.
I'm very
Congratulations.
excited for that with Farrah Abraham from MTV's Teen Mom, and they got an amazing pathway that I need to follow, and I'm like, I can't believe you're doing this to me, but you guys will see.
What was your biggest complaint about that? The 29-page script?
It's a big script, but I'm a freestyler. They're gonna hate me, but I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be on the stage and I'm gonna try to follow the bullet points. But you know me, I've always been a freestyling type of person, and I'm also gonna be giving my award to Sam Beard, who is the founder of the Jefferson Awards with Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis.
Oh, nice.
And he's worked with every president there is, and it's just amazing to have him be the second recipient of my award.
Wow.
And actually, the gentleman's name, Kevin Carl, who's the founder of the U.S. Asia Business Forum, that gave me these awards, he's gonna be doing me a favor, and he's gonna be presenting it to Sam Beard.
Oh,
so I'm gonna be sitting back and going, look at these power players presenting my award. All right.
That is quite an honor. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you, the Hollywood it guy. You are it. Wow, Eric. Wow.
I want to thank my fans too for giving that to me. I did not give myself that name. And everywhere I went, they're like, "You're like the it guy in Hollywood." And I went on the domain. I'm like, I wonder if HollywoodItGuy.com is available. And bam, I snagged it.
And you snagged it. Well, it totally suits you. It absolutely suits you. And I mean, phenomenal is not even the word to describe you and all that you do and all the contributions that you make to everything. Everything you touch just turns to gold. It's wonderful, and God bless you, and keep on doing what you do.
I got a gift for you too.
Well, we're not done yet. This is just the beginning.
I'll save it for the end then. Okay.
Oh, wait, now I want the gift. Okay.
Do you want the gift or not?
We'll take it at the end. I'll get distracted.
Okay, so you gotta save the best for last.
Okay, yeah, save the best
Now
for
the fans
last.
are on the edge of the seat. They're like, what gift?
I know. They're like, what's going on? I want to know too. But hold on, we still have one more guest to introduce, and that is the absolute lovely Samira Kazmani.
Yes.
And she's another high achiever in the entertainment industry, and she's a supporter of women's rights on an international scale. And she was chosen Ms. Exotic, Lady World, and Miss Iran 2011, and she has her own television show, The Samira Show, of which last Thursday I had the opportunity to be one of the guests, and it was absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. It's an outstanding show. We'll hear more about that in a moment. But she's also one of the many providers in 2011 of the Feminine Light in the Middle East Symposium that was held here in Los Angeles, and which we're going to talk about in just a moment. So I do have a question for you, Samira. What was the impetus that caused your interest initially in international pageantry and to later take that and host a television show?
Hi to your viewers.
Hey.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. It was an honor to have you on the television show too. I started the pageantry. I met the founder of the pageantry in a party, and she said this is for charities. And I said, why not, to help out. And actually, I didn't know this charity even had anything to do with Hollywood and the red carpets. I just thought it was some charity, hospitals and stuff like that. And it happened to be the events and red carpets. And in a matter of 2.5 months, I won the pageant.
Wow.
It was exciting.
Yes.
And actually, Eric Zulik was there. He was one of the judges.
Oh,
It was amazing. It was the Universal Hilton. There was like thousands of people. It was so much fun. It was like all this camera. And then I was at the cover of a magazine, and I brought it here.
Oh,
It went around. This was that night. This is the cover of the magazine.
Wow, very
This was
nice.
one. And then there's several magazines. This was one of them. This is another one.
Oh, so this is the magazine.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then this is the other magazine. There were a few of them. I brought 2.
Uh-huh.
And then this is the other one. It was really fun.
Wow.
And,
this is great.
being involved, and I was invited to a couple of radio stations and television shows to tell my story. And I was already in the jewelry business, and after that I made another line of jewelry with Samira. So just got involved with fashion shows, events, red carpets. And then about less than a year ago, I was in another television show too. With 2 very influential people in our community. So after that, they offered me my own show, and I said, why not? It's a lot of work. You have no idea.
Oh, I have an idea.
I mean, sometimes for an hour show, and I wanted it to be, because I was already in the media, my expectation, I felt everyone's expectation was to be very high. So I wanted it to be really, really good. So that's how I ended up with my own show.
Well, you do an excellent job on your own
Thank
show.
you, thank you.
I just sitting and watching you do what you do, I actually learned a few tips on to help improve my show. And one of those tips is to break when it's time. So with that, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Manners and More with MILLENA.
Thank you.
And we are back with Manners and More with MILLENA, and our guests today, Retha Gray, Eric Zuli, and Samira Kazmani. Now, thank you guys for being here.
Thank
you so much.
I wanted to also mention that Retha Gray is the co-host of Samira's show.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead and say
I'm very
it.
lucky that I have such a wonderful co-host. I had a lot of people on the show, a lot of great people in the entertainment business, and I'm very honored. I had this amazing connections with Retha, so it's really exciting that she's a part of the show.
Oh, and I mean, she adds such a dimension to the show. We had such a good time.
Thank you. She's fun. She has the best energy.
She does. She's my new BFF.
Oh, yeah.
No, she's fine.
No, she's
Oh,
fine.
they're fighting over me. Yes.
Well, we'll share her.
Okay.
She's my prankster on the carpet.
There's enough of me to go around.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just have to share. Well, again, thank you guys for being here today. So now I'm going to jump right into our main topics. Now, in a world where technology is just skyrocketed, for whatever reason, humanity appears to be still crawling out of the dark ages, especially as it relates to females of all ages. Now, I'm going to share a few facts with you, and I just would like for you to keep in mind and to give me your opinion afterwards. So, chattel law. Familiar with chattel law? That's the notion that women are to be treated as cattle, and that it's actually woven itself into the legal codes throughout history. And it is actually derived from the root word cattle. You just take out the H and there it is. Now, historically and even today in many places around the world, a bride's price is an amount of money or property paid by the groom to the parents of the bride, which is equivalent to purchasing a house, purchasing a car, a loaf of bread, what have you. Exactly. Now, as archaic as this practice is, and it's equal, which is the dowry system. Now, the dowry system is a system where the bride gives her groom money or property at their wedding. Now, this suggests that she's paying the groom to accept her, and as his property. Now, granted, there are a number of countries that really don't hold true and fast to any of this, but there are some that still incorporate this within their culture. Now, even in light of this, women still feel this burden, whether it's actually written or unspoken, they feel this type of oppression in the society. So, especially in light of women's accomplishments and achievements in all facets of modern civilization, why is it necessary for women's symposiums and organizations to still have to raise awareness about these injustices and raise awareness about equality for women? Why do we still have to do that in this day and age?
I grew up in Thailand, and this is one of the, can I
Yes, please, please. This is where it came.
This culture I know still goes on in India. I'm
Yeah.
Persian, but I have a lot of Indian friends, and I've been to Indian weddings till now. Rich, educated, not with millionaires. Actually, they still have this kind of system where the woman gets married and they pay a lot of money. I mean, these people spend millions, the rich ones, on 7-day weddings, and they give like homes, and I mean they give tons of stuff.
7-day weddings?
7-day and night weddings, and then they give a lot of expensive things, and gives it to the men, and this is true. But I don't think that they think of it as anything in lowering the status of the women. I think it's just a culture that they're just having. And then the man is supposed to take care of the woman for the rest of their life. But there are, families that have 5 brides, 5 girls, and so it's very difficult for them to get their daughters married. Because imagine giving out and paying for 5 girls. And I have friends who are like that.
Oh, wow.
And but the people that I know had a lot of money, so I don't know. But I'm sure it's very difficult. That's why I think, in a lot of these cultures, they are happier when a boy is born, not a woman. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons, because that's a lot of money. Imagine every time you have 2, 3, that's a lot of money. And for them, it's very important to keep your status in society. The name is very important to them. So they want to show off and make the wedding look good, and
So I was going to say, what happens if they just don't do it? Then that makes the
it's-
family look bad.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who live in a small apartment and do not spend a lot of money, but at the time of the wedding, you think they're like, whoa, because they spend a lot of money at that moment. It's very important to them to show to other people, look, I can do it.
Really?
And it still goes on, yeah.
Wow, it still goes. So you, I mean, I'm guessing that would be the reason to bring, because I had no idea that this still went on, and I'm sure a lot of people had no idea. You hear about the dowry system growing
Yeah.
up and reading about the ancient times and all of that. I had absolutely no idea that it was still going on. So do you think that it's important that, well, I think that it's important to let people know that this still happens, but is there really anything that can be done about it?
I think the one thing that it does is make sure there's no divorce, because they spend so much money that I know there's no divorce in Indian families.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay.
know.
Okay,
Because
well,
they
you know
spend
what?
all their savings, the families.
You're there and you're going to stay there forever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a benefit. Because what is our ratio in this country? It's like
50%.
50%.
Because if you
Yeah.
run off to Vegas and get married, you have no value for that marriage. But
Right.
if your parents are going to spend all their savings for your marriage, you better stay married.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes we look at cultures that are different than ours and then we judge them. And I think sometimes we need to go to that culture and ask them. Sometimes they're really happy with their system. And like we're talking, they stay married. We've got a 50% divorce rate.
You know what?
So maybe it's working for them.
You know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And a quick aside is that I went to Dubai 2 years ago for my birthday, and I was blessed to be able to spend 17 days there and just really got immersed into the culture. And we think, oh my goodness, Muslim, it's so bad, it's so bad. They pray 5 times a day. Like starting at 4 a.m., there's an imam that starts chanting, and it starts 5 times religiously every single day. And their punitive system, if you steal something, they're still cutting off hands and fingers. And so people, they don't even lock their doors. They don't, I mean, it's just a whole different culture, but these are the types of things that aren't shared here. We think that, they're covered up and all of this, and I came back with just a whole new awareness and just a whole new love and respect for the Muslim culture. So much so that I wrote a little piece about it, but I won't go into it now. But it just speaks to that exactly, that once you know about a culture and you know about a society, it raises and it increases enlightenment and tolerance.
And they don't have gangs running around marauding their neighborhoods.
No, they don't
That doesn't
either.
happen in a lot of Middle Eastern countries.
A lot of Asian countries don't have alarm system.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, they don't. They don't have to.
And they come to America and they're just amazed at how out of control we are as a culture. So, we think, oh, we're America. And don't get me wrong, I love America. I want to live here my whole life. I ain't going nowhere. But, they come to America and they say, y'all are out of control.
Exactly.
We don't want the rock and roll. I've been looking up some lyrics to some songs lately. And, we are some of the most abusive people of women.
We are, and we're going to talk about that in
Whoa.
just a minute about the lyrics and the. I just, we're going to get to that. Easy, did you want to weigh in or?
You know what? I'm sitting in between three beautiful women, and I have a woman question being asked. I'm just sitting here being a sponge and absorbing, waiting for my
For your question.
response and stuff. I'm waiting until it's the right time because, like I said, I'm in between three beautiful women. I don't want to get smacked on something that's I don't know. So I'm just chilling.
I don't think you would mind if the woman pays for all his stuff and
No, whoa.
Sorry.
That's not, me personally. The way I was raised, I was raised by pull the chair out for the woman, open the door, take care. I mean, take care of your other half always, But I agree with Retha, and I actually agree with what you guys are saying. If I was to speak on myself, the way I was raised is be a gentleman and always take care of your other half. I wouldn't say the woman's always right. I think it's between both relationships, both people, and it's a compromise.
Yeah.
It's all about compromise.
It
It'd be
is.
nice, but you can still get a lot of money.
And the family, a lot of times in America, newlyweds start off with nothing, and their families don't help them, and they have nothing. If you're in a culture where you're given a house, you've gotten your education,
Yeah.
that's a leg up.
It is, and actually in the Emirati culture, the country is the United Arab Emirates. That actually, when an Emirati marries another Emirati, the government gives them a large sum of money just for getting married, and then for each child that's born, the government gives them more money. And I was like, well, wait
But
a
don't
minute.
forget, Dubai is also a very rich Arabic country.
Exactly.
Not all the Arabic countries are that rich.
No, they're not. I mean, the
Dubai
oil
is
was
very rich.
there's no
compared to the other countries.
so rich that there's not a price on
They
the
have
gas.
$20,000 drink.
Yeah, I know. And the 7-star
My car
hotels.
is not worth that much.
A 20,000 and the only 7-star hotel in the world. It is just
Wow.
Okay, right. Calm down. I'm gonna go back. It's a wonderful place. But yeah, they are the exception to the rule. But it just goes to, I mean, they don't have divorce, and they are continuing to grow their population by that way. So. Okay, we're going to go on to Amy Lieberman, correspondent of Women E-News. She wrote in her March 21, 2013 article, Political Cauldron Boils on UN Women's Rights. Participants at the Commission on the Status of Women expect the fight between conservative and progressive factions to intensify over sexual orientation, reproductive rights, and even domestic violence. Okay, it's turning into a battleground over women's rights, and that was not the original intention of the Commission on the Status of Women. And this is from Savi Bisnath, an associate director of the Rutgers University-based Center for Women's Global Leadership. It was supposed to be a forum in which we can discuss and negotiate and advance women's rights. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but up to 7 out of 10 women will suffer violence in their lifetimes, and this is according to the UN figures. And about 603 million women live in countries where domestic violence is not a crime. I just learned this in doing the research. Now, if the number of women who are victims of domestic violence in countries where it is a crime, if they would actually speak out, the numbers would actually be staggering. And if 7 out of 10 people in the world were predicted to contract some horrid airborne disease, now let's just look at it this way, then there probably wouldn't be battles in the UN or within any government entity about funding any kind of research to stop that, some kind of airborne ridiculous disease. But yet there is a challenge with government funding to ensure that women are treated equally and justly and with dignity. And for me, it's just such a mind-boggling thing that women are still thought of in such a negative way, and that we have to go through so many battles to try to get ahead or to even be equal. So, I mean, my question is to you guys. Now, these numbers are absolutely staggering. So now, why do you think there's such an opposition to the rights and justice for women? Any?
Well, first of all, I want to say anybody that hits a woman, regardless, in any possible way, needs to be hung, tied, tarred, and shot.
Yeah.
And that's never condoned
Never.
in any way. And to answer, I was focused on that topic because I'm really, really, not about that.
Yeah.
Ask your question one more time, please. So I'm serious. I was like, when I heard the domestic violence thing, that really bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, it bothers me too. And basically, with these numbers that are 7 out of 10 women will be, I mean, why do you think that there is such an opposition to just passing appropriate legislation to at least attempt to eradicate. I mean, it won't ever completely be gone because, cultures and societies within different cultural groups, they continue their way of thinking. So it won't be completely eradicated for a long, long time, but the process has to begin somewhere. So why do you think there's such an opposition to making having women as equal?
We live in a male-dominated culture. And just recently, the case of the man, because we're on radio, who held 3 young women captive
Yes.
for over a decade. And you talk about if a man hits a woman, he should be stabbed, killed, shot, whatever.
Hard.
This guy's getting life.
Yeah.
I am going to pay for this man to breathe air for the rest of his life. No one is rioting in the streets. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand.
These young women have been robbed of their childhood. They've all bounced back amazingly so.
Didn't he get her pregnant too, right?
Not only did he get her pregnant, she lost one baby, and he has another child that did survive. So it was kidnap, it was murder, it was mayhem, it was just a bunch of insane stuff. And he plea bargained out to life plus 1,000 years. Now, I don't want to pay for him for the next 2 years, but the next 1,000 years? And nobody is having a fit about this? I mean, I don't get it. So, again, we talk about other countries, but right here in our own country,
Exactly.
you just get life for imprisoning 3 women for over a decade.
Exactly. I mean, even it goes to the Trayvon Martin case. That, that sparked riots and protests and all of
But
that.
this was men stuff
Exactly.
going on.
Right.
Okay? You get to women stuff, it's like, oh, those poor girls, yeah, give him life.
Yeah, and that's
We didn't have to do a trial. He helped us out. Give him life.
right, and that's what I don't understand. Why, Eric? You're the male on this panel right now. Excuse me. Please, can you weigh in on this? Like, why? And I don't mean to put all this pressure on you, but it's just something that just really concerns me. That why do women have to constantly fight so hard, so long? I mean, we just gotten the right to vote in the not even 100
century,
years,
yeah.
right? It's why are women treated as the chattel still in this day and age?
Well, I don't know if I fully agree that women are treated as the chattel. You have a lot of powerful women that are making a lot of powerful moves. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of powerful women. Like, I know a friend of mine named Shelley who's on the cover with Lady Gaga, and she's like a big motivational speaker. And I know a lot of friends that are women that are making a lot of differences and stuff. And in fact, look at I believe the president of marketing for Disney is a woman. If you think about a lot of these women are in powerful positions.
They are.
And it's really up to them to speak up more politically or on television and to press.
So are you saying it's like my responsibility to
No.
use this platform to make a difference?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
what he's saying? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think I am. I'm saying that women have their choice if they want to use the vehicles that are out there to speak up more.
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that until, I was being facetious, but really that is a wonderful. Okay, Samara.
I think that if anybody is in that position, there are a lot of people who stay in it. The minute something like that happens, they should get out.
Yeah.
But, I don't think that every country is like America. There's no opportunity like here. If there's something wrong, right away you can get out of it. I don't think every country you have this opportunity. Sometimes you're just stuck, you have many children, or, in other countries, or I think financially, or there's just so many different things that have to do with it. I think we went to a big organization for abused women a few months ago. There were plastic surgeons, there were doctors that help out. They made a big thing out of it. There was Channel 4 there, Channel 2, it was like all this. It was a big red carpet event. So I think in America they do a lot about it, but not every country, because I think the media supports women, but not every country is so, you can't, like in many other countries, just go and make a big deal out of it. They're just, I think the government and everyone else has to support that. And, America does support that more than different in a lot of places. I mean, Europe they do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different. Actually in Asia, I grew up in Thailand. Women work more. They have more power in Asian country than Middle Eastern countries.
Oh.
So I think every culture too is a difference.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the way that the cultures are makes a big difference.
It makes a tremendous difference. That's why we have to evolve and learn about other cultures.
And
to
if you
learn
have
and
people
grow.
like you who have power in the media and voice, you could make a difference. That's what I think.
I think I agree with you.
You know,
and you have
Oprah
power
made
too.
a
Use
big
your tools.
difference. Oprah, a lot of people look up to her. She's amazing. She made a difference.
She is amazing. And I call you the Oprah of the Middle East.
Oh, thank you. That's so
That's what I call
nice.
you with your
Thank
talk
you.
show. That's so fabulous.
Thank
well, we're
you.
going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our very special guests, Retha Gray, Eric Izizuli, and Samira Kazmanian. We'll be right back with Manners and More with Melina. And we're back with Manners and More with Melina. I'm your host, Melina Gay, and we have in the studio Retha Gray, Samira Kazmanian, and Eric Izizuli. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So now, going to jump right back on into our discussion about domestic violence, and these statistics are actually pretty sobering. So bear with me while I share. The Public Policy Office of the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence here in the United States cites every 9 seconds in the U.S., a woman is assaulted or beaten. Domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women, more than car accidents, muggings, and rapes combined. Studies suggest that up to 10 million children witness some form of domestic violence annually. Nearly 1 in 5 teenage girls who've been in a relationship said a boyfriend threatened violence or self-harm if presented with a breakup. Every day in the U.S., more than 3 women are murdered by their husbands or boyfriends. 92% of women surveyed listed reducing domestic violence and sexual assault as their top concern. Domestic violence victims lose nearly 8 million days of paid work per year in the United States alone, the equivalent of 32,000 full-time jobs. The costs of intimate partner violence in the U.S. alone, intimate partner because we have same-sex marriages and things like that, the cost of intimate partner violence in the U.S. alone exceeds $5.8 billion per year. $4.1 billion are for direct medical and health care services. Now, while productivity losses account for nearly $1.8 billion. Men who, as children, witnessed their parents' domestic violence, they were twice as likely to abuse their own wives than that of nonviolent parents. Completely sobering. Completely. Now, there was a YouTube ad for the Renault Clio that featured a group of women in burlesque-style lingerie, gyrating and dancing around car and drivers. The Advertising Standards Authority, an advertising watchdog, banned the ad, ruling that it objectified women. Now, as we were talking about earlier, there are songs, there are music videos, motion pictures, and lots of YouTube videos that basically degrade women intellectually, emotionally, and physically. They do, yeah. So now, so my question now, based with all of that background, do you guys believe that media has an influence on the behaviors of men, no matter how their socioeconomic status, how they treat women, particularly young, impressionable teenagers?
Millena,
Yes, ma'am.
how much do they spend on Super Bowl commercials?
Well, you and I know the answer to that. A lot.
Obviously, the media influences thought.
Yes.
No one would pay millions of dollars for 1 minute of TV time if it
right.
didn't make an impression.
That's
So if that's just one moment in time, think about all the songs, all the music videos that are out there. Of course that influences. And to go back to what you were talking about earlier, the domestic violence, I was working with the domestic violence task force. Not only are all the people involved in danger, the police say the domestic violence calls are the most dangerous for them
Really?
because they will shoot at police. They will attack police in the heat of passion. So it is one of the most dangerous call for an officer to go out on.
Wow.
So it's really out of control, the domestic violence. I know of a situation where a woman was saying, I'm afraid my husband's going to kill me. And of course, in those situations, the husband is always behaving well
Of course.
in public.
Right.
So not only men, but women kept saying, but you need to stay. He's a good man. Do you? I don't know the statistics, but you said 3 a day.
Yeah.
3 a day.
Every day.
If somebody says, I'm afraid he's going to kill me,
Yeah.
tell her to get out.
Exactly. And there are shelters, there are
But
hotlines,
it's
there
not
are-
that easy. That's why there's so many homeless women in Los Angeles, because they don't have anywhere to go. There are nowhere near as many shelters as people think, especially for women.
Really?
Especially with women with kids. You would be shocked at the number of women who are sleeping in their car every night
Wow.
because they left their home, didn't have a job. That's why I had to go back to work. My marriage came to a screeching halt, and I had to go back to work. I was blessed. I had someplace I could go and live. I had the ability to get a job. But the average woman, especially my age, doesn't. So it's frightening how many older women are on the street. They don't have a family they can go to. They have no place they can live. So a lot of times they stay in the situation because they have no choice. And that's not just in other countries. That's here in America.
Wow. Wow. I absolutely had no idea about that. I don't have a statistic on that one. That's
And the average person isn't aware of what is going on behind closed doors and how many women are being subjected to violence. They just have no idea that that's going on.
wow. Yeah. Do you guys want to weigh in on?
Well, to answer your question about the media, yeah, the media everywhere you go. I think that the MTV. Well, I won't mention specific networks, but the media that portrays hardcore music videos, the movies that you see. I mean, look at even the covers on, if you go to like Blockbuster or something. Is there still Blockbuster? Did
They kind of went away.
the other one took them out of business?
Yeah.
But you go and you see the covers. The covers are portraying domestic violence. They're portraying strangling. I've seen covers where you're literally they're showing you strangling a girl and she's like this, or like the girl's in a bikini with like marks on her arms and stuff. Like they're sending messages, even shirts, and I mean it's subliminal messaging. And I think that a lot of people that are in the powerful positions that have the ability to put this out to the general public, they're messed up individuals. There's got to be something messed up in the head because they're sending a message that's not a good message, and other people are going to pull off of that message, especially the younger people, thinking it's okay.
Exactly. They think that this behavior, that this type of message is, and they don't have an accountability, and that's what disturbs me the most about, like, who are these people? How did they get to such a position of influence and power and decision making? And then it's like on purpose they do it, because it doesn't take much to say, okay, I'm not going to show this with the hiney shaking and all of that. I'm not gonna, say the N word and the B word and
there's
all of
nothing
that.
wrong with hiney shaking. A little hiney shaking is okay. I wasn't talking about hiney shaking.
See, I told you it's a male-ruled world.
See, Eric. Okay.
Moderate hiney shaking is okay
Hiney
enough.
shaking. Well, not in the hiney shorts.
But it's gotten out of control, though. It really has. When you listen to the words to the songs,
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
the fact that women participate in those videos. Now, like I said, in the 70s, I did my fair share of what was not the most nice thing for a young lady to be doing. Wasn't porn. Really, it wasn't porn.
Do tell, Rita.
No,
some stories?
Yeah, what's really going on, Rita? What really happened in the 70s?
No. But nowadays, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
They say, I was at a club at a red carpet, and the music they were playing, I was listening to the words, and I'm saying, really? and the young women are dancing
They're dancing to it.
to it, and they are in agreement in their movements in the dance. And it's like, okay.
And then when you see like the little ones, 4 and 5 and 6, and they're on YouTube and they're doing knowing all of the words and these, I'm like, really, people? What? This is not okay.
Well, you
Who is
gotta-
saying
I think
it's
that
okay?
Aretha is right. Women need support and the right advice, but also I think she's right. And men who threaten their wives or girlfriends need to be shut off. That's for sure. I had a friend of mine, just to bother, if I mention him, he's a doctor. He's going to come after me. So
We'll protect you here.
But they need to be, in my opinion, one time they need to be questioned and thrown in jail.
Yeah.
That's what I would do with him.
And no matter what, though,
And-
I'm sorry.
No. But I also think, in my opinion, women have the choice. So I think that is not just the men's fault. The women have the choice.
That's true.
You are selling your jewelry. You're so beautiful. There are other things that you could, do that shows who you are. You could be in movies. You could do things. I think you don't have to sell your sexiness or your body. There's so many different things you could do. I mean, I have people at my show who are authors and people like that that are beautiful and sexy, and they still dress up in a way that they still look beautiful. They're moms, but doesn't have to show in a very sexual way. I think women have the choice. You cannot just blame the men. They have the right to say no.
Exactly.
You have the right to not put too much tattoos or things like that. It's a woman's choice too. It's not just the men.
Exactly.
And it by no means gives a man license to do anything. I don't care if she's walking down the street naked. That doesn't give him license to do anything to her.
Exactly.
But as women, we do have to take a level of responsibility for what we're doing.
Yeah, if you're walking down the street and you have really short shorts and a low cleavage type shirt, you're drawing that in. It's like you're asking for it. But to go back to the domestic violence side of things, I think no matter what, the women need to speak up, even if they're afraid. And if they're too afraid to speak up, a friend that's around them needs to speak up for them.
Yes.
And there's never any reason not to ever speak up, because I guarantee you it'll get worse and get worse and get worse until you do die, until something does. So anybody that's watching this or listening, I really am telling you, like I'm saying this because I know friends and I know situations. I'm the guy that a lot of people will call. And I've had a situation at like parties and stuff, and I'll go up to the guys and be like, I'm that type of person. I'll defend a lot of people, and I'll be like, dude, like let's have a little talk. You can't not speak up. You have to. And going to the music videos and the women that are dressed enticingly, I guess you could say, it's a viral world now. It's not about television as much as it used to be. It's a lot different world. And speaking as somebody that was congressionally recognized for social media and I know the internet world, look at YouTube. You have like Vimeo and these real big platforms where you're seeing like 90 million to 100 million. These are 100 million people seeing this.
Exactly.
A music video is even more influential than television nowadays.
Right.
Social media is more influential. So, like, it's just these people are making these videos. The directors, I was there at the 3 6 Mafia music video shoot. The Lolly Lolly, let me see you. You guys remember that one?
No, I don't.
Everybody remembers that video.
wouldn't listen to
Stop fronting, Rita. So that music video, like they have these, the girls are literally like licking the lollipops, and it's portraying, like subconsciously, you know, with
No,
candy.
I think very
this and that.
consciously.
Well, very consciously, but also subconsciously too, with the types of materials they're using in the videos and how they're doing the videos and stuff. So I think that if people want, like in media, your question was, you know, should they use the media to make a difference?
Yeah.
They can, just like you're doing right now with your show. You know, you're beautiful, and your words are beautiful. What you're doing, you're speaking up for a lot of people that may not, and maybe this will set an example for other media to pick it up. And you know, in my world, it's called going viral. It's called, you know, you pick up one blog, you pick up another one, and you get thousands and thousands of things, and it just expands and it takes over. You know, so that's my little opinion.
Well, you know, if this helps and makes a difference, then by all means, that's what it's here for. That's what I'm here for, and I appreciate the opportunity to do it.
I think women
so.
dressing sexy and being sexy is two different things than being abused. They're two different things. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're not their fault and they're not. So
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's never a license to behave badly.
No.
I don't care what a woman wears. It's never a license to
Never.
behave badly.
It's never okay to hit a woman or physically have any type of violence to a woman. But at the same time, if the woman's dressing to bring it in, I think like inside they may like that dominant type of person or whatever, because they're drawing somebody, and I've seen these girls that
It's
like
not so much that they're liking it, drawing in. They like attention. They have not been given proper attention at some point critical in their life. And so they crave the attention. And it's like cutters. You know, they cut themselves because it feels good to feel pain, because that's the only time they feel. So the only time they get attention is if they do something to get it. It's still not an invitation.
It's never
feels
okay.
like it to a man, but it really isn't an invitation.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of girls go to clubs and go to certain, you know, the clothes that they wear. I mean, you see like see-through shirts and
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
and they're
They want attention.
They're asking for it. you know?
They're asking for attention.
They're asking for attention, yeah. But when you're that revealing, and like you said, yeah, you're sitting next to a guy. Like I had to say, "Are you kidding me? There's a little booty shaking. It's okay." That's just a guy's nature. And if a woman knows
Hello?
that that's a guy's nature, then don't ask for it. Don't do things that's going to draw it in.
If it walks like a dog and barks like a dog,
And right now, it's
But if you put,
barking like a
but if
commercial
you
break.
if you put the bone in front of the dog's going to want to bite it.
absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right. And we're going to pick up this conversation in just a moment. We have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Manners and more with MILLENA, with Retha Gray, Eric Easy Zuli, and Samira. Okay. Okay, and we're back with Manners and more with MILLENA, with special guest Retha Gray, Samira, and Eric Easy Zuli. Now, we're going to finish up this topic and with a couple of statistics. Each year, thousands upon thousands of young men and women, they travel to L.A. to try out for pilot season and to try out for various roles in music videos, and their music videos are actually more attractive to a lot of young women who'll dress in quite revealing customs and gyrate to the beats and rhythms of the sounds provocatively, and sometimes, as we just discussed, these lyrics can be very demeaning to females. Now, given the fact that the music industry generates billions of dollars per year, and some of the statistics that we've heard, that it is reasonable to assume that this culture of female denigration will continue. Is it reasonable to think that? Or do you think that raising the awareness of demeaning females in various forms of media may be a casual perpetuation of domestic violence against and the continued subjugation of women? And will is ultimately stimulate dialogue among entertainment moguls to change the depiction of women in the various forms of entertainment mediums? So, I'm throwing that back to you. Basically, long story short, is we just had that conversation about the music videos and how important, the representations of what it encompasses. So, with the question and the statements that I just put, in addition to, let's just take some examples of in your country, in your era, and right now growing up, the dress code, the etiquette of what a woman wears. Does that have anything to do with that? How does that factor in?
I personally hold my generation absolutely responsible for the debacle that's going on right now. We were the miniskirt generation. We were the let it all hang out, burn your bra generation. We said all of this was okay. We want to be free. We want to be as good or bad as men are. We want to be able to walk around with no clothes on, and we want to be able. We had no idea what went on in the minds of human beings when we were saying this stuff. When we were talking about free love, we didn't understand what some people saw in their minds as love. And so I think we kicked it off thinking it was going to go one way, and it kind of skewed another way. So I think it's unfortunately just a downhill turn.
So you think that because of the quote-unquote bad etiquette of your generation of
We threw the etiquette book out the window.
Okay, so you guys, it's all your fault.
It's all our fault.
Okay.
We did it. I tried to take it back. I tried to tell the young girls now, don't go there. Really, we were wrong. We were wrong. Raise your children. Be good mothers. That doesn't make you a doormat, you know. Take care of your family. Have a good husband. Make sure that he is the type that works, and don't support men and all of their bad behavior.
Exactly. Thank you.
And that's what we have to do too. As older women, we really have to set examples, and we have to talk to the young girls.
We absolutely do. Absolutely do. Samara, what about in your country?
I've been here for many years. I was born in Iran, and I was raised in Thailand. So the Middle East culture, so Thailand is the opposite of Iran.
Okay.
Thailand, the middle of the street, there's strip bars, and they have there's a lot of so the culture. There's a lot of transvestites. So it's a completely different culture than the Middle East. Middle East is the opposite, where the women. The buses are different for men and women. So one is on the other side, and I've made mistakes going from Thailand to Iran where I got in the wrong bus. I got into the front because you just get into the wrong, hop on. You cover up your hair. I have gone in the streets where I forgot my scarf, and you're not allowed to be with a man who's not your brother or cousins. If you get caught in the street, I think you're supposed to go to the police or something like that, and you get caught, you have to bring your... And it happened to my brother where he went to... he was with a friend of his. We lived in Thailand, so it was okay. And so they took him, and then they had to ride. He went with a friend of his. He was in the same car with a girl. You're not allowed to be in the same car with a girl or anything like that. So it's a totally different culture of how women are. Now, seeing the freedom and seeing the conservative, I think the freedom is better because I've seen how the Thai women are. They are very simple. They don't do their hair so much. They don't do their makeup so much. They're just very simple. They're very comfortable. They wear jeans. And I've seen the Persian women coming to the United States. It's like a lion out of the cage. These people put so much makeup on. You go to these parties, everyone's holding an alcohol, taking pictures. I've seen parties where people think they're on the red carpet, and just the alcohol is going to finish tomorrow.
Right.
So I think that freedom is very important to a certain extent.
It is.
It should be a choice. If you have to cover certain parts of your body. You should not be forced.
Right.
in certain ways, some of it, not all of it. So a lot of the, I mean, a lot of these regular women wear jeans and a T-shirt. So I think that should be it. So normal freedom would be good. That's what I think.
Moderation.
Traveling the world.
Moderation.
Because I've traveled around the world, and I think
Excuse me. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And unfortunately, we are almost out of time. It just evaporates as always. But I did want to give you, Eric, an opportunity because I know you wanted to share some things with the audience very quickly.
And I got a gift for you. I've been waiting for the gift. Yeah, I did want to. I'm pretty proud of this, and this is pretty cool. I just wanted to show the audience. This is an actual award given to me by. It was a recognition of dedication for service and affairs. Basically, it was an award for the stuff I've done for the community. It was on behalf of the Multicultural Motion Picture Association, the city and county of Los Angeles. Signed off, as you can see, by all the different council members. There's like 7 of them, and that was like pretty cool. And I also have some covers of magazines and all that stuff too.
Wait, where is Mellena's gift?
I won't go.
Where is Mellena's gift?
So this is the gift that I had to plug myself. I'm sorry, Malia.
That's okay.
This is the gift we have for you on behalf of Havana Watches, HavanaWatches.com, which is one of my sponsors. I told them I was going to be on your show, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is a little gift that we wanted to give you.
Okay,
for having us on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
And you can wear
Look,
that on the
guys.
awards.
Yes, I will do that. And please tell everyone a little bit about the awards before we go.
Well, the
award show's coming up.
actually, Havana Watch is one of the sponsors. They're going to be giving their watches to the winners, and the EOTM Award stands for Entrepreneurs on the Move. And they're looking to recognize a lot of entrepreneurs. You have Charlie Sheen involved. You have Betty White. You have myself. I'm co-hosting, like I said. We have you. We have a lot of celebrities. One Direction. I mean, a lot of people are nominated for this thing. And it's the first annual award show. And next year, we're going to be looking for a lot of other entrepreneurs that are making differences in the communities and stuff like that. And I was there from the beginning. Known Carla, the founder, for a while, and they're trying to make a lot of things happen for entrepreneurs.
Oh, well, I think it's wonderful, and I'm absolutely honored to be nominated for Outstanding Actress in a Daytime Series for my work on The Young and the Restless. It's an honor that you're going to be hosting. It's an honor to be nominated as well with fabulous Retha Gray for Outstanding Actress in a Daytime Series. And
No,
hopefully,
in a reality series.
Reality series.
Yeah, we're not competing, baby.
No. We are on the same side. We are good baddies in a reality series, and maybe next year you'll be nominated for something as well.
I would love to, and I have to be there to support all of you.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Excited. You are a
so
great
much.
host.
Thank you so much.
I think you're an amazing woman, and all that you talk about, I think you could make a huge difference in the community. You're an amazing, really inside out. You're very beautiful, and I wish you luck with your beautiful jewelry and your beautiful show.
Now, Melina, who are you cheating on me with?
You know what?
I told you I was going to make you do it on air.
And we just say thank you so much to the wonderful guests. If you want to just give a quick shout of how people can get in touch with you. And you can follow you on Twitter, Eric, Easy.
ERICZULEY, the Hollywood It guy.
And Retha?
Retha Gray, REATHAGREY, everything at RethaGray.com.info, Retha Gray.
And Samara?
It's at Samira Kazamani, Facebook Samira Kazamani, and Samira's Show, and it's samirashow.com as well, and Samira's Show on YouTube, some of the shows.
Okay, and thank you so much, as always, to you so much for tuning in. We have wonderful guests today, and we also want to thank our sponsors, Tamara from Sugar and Spiked, and also the fabulous Donna Andrews. They will be back next week, and we will see a little bit of them as well. But you take care, stay tuned, be blessed, and see you next week. Thank you. Manners and More with Melina.